For a whole generation, it wasn't just a product, it was a promise. That sound, that little burp as the seal clicked shut, that was the sound of the perfect suburban dream. Tupperware was absolutely woven into the fabric of the American kitchen. And for decades, it honestly felt unstoppable. But then, the parties just stopped.
You have to picture it. Women gathering in living rooms all across the country. And they weren't just there to buy plastic containers, no. They were there to build empires, to find a community. This brand was part of post-war America. It was literally opportunity in the shape of a bowl.
And then, just like that, it was over. An 80-year-old icon just gone. The very brand that revolutionized how we store things couldn't save itself.
So how does that happen, right? How does a revolution get left so far behind? This isn't just another business failure. This is a eulogy. And to really understand it, we have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Back to an idea that, believe it or not, almost failed completely.
So in all that optimism after World War II, a chemist, a guy named Earl Tupper, has this stroke of genius. He creates these plastic containers with a patented airtight seal. You'd press the lid, hear that really satisfying burp as the air got pushed out, and boom, your food would stay fresh for days. The problem? Nobody got it. On store shelves, it was just plastic. It was confusing, a total flop. Until a single mother from Detroit named Brownie Wise saw something that nobody else did.
See, Brownie Wise had this completely radical idea. She said, forget the stores. Take the product right into people's living rooms. She invented the Tupperware Party. I mean, imagine it. A room full of friends, coffee, laughing, and right in the middle of it all, someone demonstrating that magical burp seal. All of a sudden, Tupperware wasn't just an object. It was an experience. It was about connection.
And this idea didn't just work, it exploded. By the 1950s, the Tupperware Party was a full-blown cultural phenomenon. At its absolute peak, a Tupperware party was starting somewhere in the world every 2.7 seconds. Just let that sink in. The sheer scale of that, it was a global movement.
But you have to understand, this was never just about a side hustle. Think about the time. For thousands of women, this was their very first taste of real financial freedom. In an era when a woman often couldn't even get her own credit card, Tupperware gave them careers. They were earning their own money, winning cars, building their own businesses. The real product wasn't the container. The product was empowerment. But here's the tragedy, and maybe, just maybe, the first real crack in the foundation. Brownie Wise, the visionary, the woman who became the face of the whole company, was unceremoniously fired by Earl Tupper himself. He was supposedly threatened by her fame, wanted all the credit. He literally erased her from the company's history. And you have to wonder if that's when Tupperware forgot the most important part of its own success. It was never, ever about the plastic. It was about the people.
Now, for decades after that, Tupperware dominated. It was a status symbol. But while the brand was looking inward, patting itself on the back, the world outside the living room was changing, radically.
And this is where you see the fatal disconnect. Tupperware's entire identity was built on the party, on this idea of exclusivity. You couldn't just buy it, you had to be invited. But the world? Well, the world was sprinting in the exact opposite direction. It wanted speed, it wanted convenience, it wanted that one-click ease of e-commerce.
It was a perfect storm, really. First, you get cheaper competition like Rubbermaid flooding store shelves. Next, the workforce itself completely changes. The very women who used to host these parties now had 9-to-5 jobs. And then, the final decisive blow, the internet. Amazon, a world of infinite choice delivered right to your door. The party stood no chance.
Tupperware's sales had been declining for years, slowly at first, then picking up terrifying speed. There was this brief false hope during the pandemic. Everybody was stuck at home, cooking, organizing their kitchens, and sales spiked. For a minute there, it really looked like a comeback. But it wasn't real. It was a mirage, just masking these deep, systemic problems that had never gone away.
And once the world opened back up, reality hit like a freight train. The company was just hemorrhaging money. By 2023, the brand that was once a priceless treasure in American homes had lost 75% of its stock value, gone. The collapse was catastrophic, and by then, it was unavoidable.
And so, that was the end. The company that invented airtight storage couldn't seal its own fate. The company that empowered millions of women couldn't empower itself to change. The party was officially over.
So, what do we take away from all this?
I mean, the fall of Tupperware isn't just some sad story about plastic bowls. It is a powerful, timeless cautionary tale for any business, any leader, honestly, for anyone.
The collapse really leaves behind 3 brutal lessons. First, your greatest strength can become your greatest weakness. The party model literally made Tupperware, and then it became the anchor that drowned them. Second, you have to adapt to your customer, or you will die. Tupperware made people come to them. The modern world delivers right to your doorstep. And finally, number 3, legacy is not a business plan. Nostalgia is great, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Ultimately, that's the eulogy for Tupperware, isn't it? The company had every chance in the world to pivot, to embrace e-commerce, to modernize, but they were just paralyzed by their own history. They didn't fail because the product was bad. They failed because the world moved on, and they just stood still.
And that leaves us with a final, chilling question. The story of Tupperware is a story about the danger of success. It's about the arrogance of legacy. So, as you look around today, what modern giant, what household name is making the exact same mistake? Who is so in love with their own history that they can't see the future barreling down on them? Because as Tupperware proves, no one is too big to fail.